And live stream. Okay, got it. All right, well, let's get on the record. Welcome everyone to docket 4220 ER 102, the application of Northern States Power Company, Wisconsin for approval of its 2023 fuel cost plan. This is Michael Newmark, the Administrative Law Judge for the PSC. We have commission staff and party representatives and applicant staff connected here through Zoom. This is both a session where we'll take evidence from parties, commission staff, and comments from members of the public. So I'd like to see if we do have any members of the public in attendance now from which we can take a comment. And I see the only person I see who may be a member of the public joined us as Sue. So could you identify yourself and let us know if you'd like to make a comment?
No, I just wanted to see what the meeting was all about.
Okay, all right. So what we'll do then is we're going to switch over to take the evidence from the parties and commission staff. If I remember, which I hope someone can remind me, I'll ask at the end if any members of the public want to speak. So you can observe what's going on here, and then if that raises a comment in your mind, you can give it to us at the end. Otherwise, there is an opportunity to file a written comment beyond the hearing today. So I have that on the screen here. So we will accept written comments up until Thursday, or no later than Thursday, September 22nd. And we can receive those by the commission's website or by US mail. So as long as they're in by Thursday. So that's another opportunity to comment. I think at this point, we have 3 comments on IRF. 2 of them actually were filed before we opened the comment period, but since there's so few comments, I may just let those in as well. It's not usual that we do that, but maybe okay. I'll take a look at them, and if they're in the vein of a typical comment, I can put them in. So all right, so let's move on then to what we call the party session, and we will switch over to that. I think at this point I will take the notice off the screen and we'll go right into the service list. So we can go off the record for this. So just in terms of our usual checks and balances here, just want to make sure we have everyone on the service list we need. If there's any corrections we need to make, let me know. Okay, not hearing anyone. So I did share that with you guys yesterday, I believe. So we can close that out. I am going to just pause the screen share for a moment, just so we can see everyone here who's connected. And then we can move on to the offered evidence list. Okay, so we'll just continue to stay off the record here, but any modifications to the list we need to make in terms of the filings that are shown here? Did I miss anything? Do I have the wrong version up on share? Did I share the wrong version with you on this file? Nothing. Okay. And any questions about the filing comments? Clear
Judge, yeah, Jordan, okay. Here.
Go ahead.
Just have a question. What do you mean by filing comments?
Oh, yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, so let's see, do I have anything here? So just the comments that deal with refiling for corrections. Maybe there's one for staff. So I don't really have any for. No, okay, well. Strike that. It's amazing. There are no, yeah, there's really nothing to refile for corrections, it looks like.
It does say at the bottom of page 2.
Okay.
Judge,
Yeah.
refile as direct PSC Stevenson R.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you have some questions there, but I'm assuming you're going to pose those if you like.
Right. Yeah.
The witnesses. Okay.
Yeah, the substantive questions. I can ask those. But just in terms of filing corrections, yeah, I did have the one for Stevenson. Otherwise, doesn't look like anything in this case. So that just shocked me, I guess. It doesn't happen often. Okay, so at this point then, since there's no changes to the list we need to make now, so we can get on the record and I'll just accept these documents pending verification. Are there any, so you have questions for Delava, Gray, and that I think is it. Ritzman's, okay, so we could, I guess it's just really Morse and Stevenson, if we could accept those filings by affidavit, if people are interested in doing that.
Judge, I've got all my witnesses here today, so I just assume swear them in and affirm their testimony.
Sounds good. All right. Okay, so let's get on the record. I gave you warning. All right, so we discussed the service list and the offered evidence list off the record, and there are no corrections to those documents. In terms of the offered evidence list, I can accept those filings that are listed there on the list for the record, pending witness verification. And let's begin with the applicant's witnesses. So you can call your first.
Okay, we would call Annie Delva first.
Okay, I see you there. So raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yeah, I think you're muted.
I do.
Okay, great. All right, you can proceed.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Delva. I'm Jordan Hamadan, counsel for Northern States Power Company, Wisconsin. Could you state your name for the record, please?
Annie Delva.
And Ms. Delva, are you the same person who filed what's been marked as direct NSP Delva confidential and direct NSP Delva public?
Yes, I am.
Together with Exhibit 1 to your testimony, Exhibit NSPW Delva 1, which was also filed in both confidential and public versions.
Yes.
And is all the information contained in your testimony true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, it is.
Also with the exhibits?
That's correct.
And Judge, consequent to that affirmation, I ask that the documents for Ms. Delva be accepted into the record.
All right, they are. Is the witness available then?
The witness is available for any cross.
Okay, do we have any questions for this witness besides mine? No? Okay, so
No,
I did have a
none from
couple
us.
for you. What's that? I'm sorry?
Sorry, I said none from us.
Oh, okay. All right, so I just had a couple for you. So I shared these with the parties and staff as part of the offered evidence list. I can just squeeze them onto the screen here if that helps. I don't know if it helps, but there we go. So I just was interested in getting your comments on these. First one is, does NSPW anticipate a higher level of uncertainty with respect to commodity prices, LMPs, and coal delivery constraints than in previous years?
Yeah, given what we've seen this year in 2022 and the conditions that currently exist globally with the unrest in Ukraine and inflation, the risk of recession, these all contribute to greater uncertainty compared to a typical plan year.
Okay, so does the fuel cost plan account for that uncertainty?
It's always been our practice to use futures prices for gas, and we're doing that again for this FCP. These futures prices are the market's expectation of what prices will clear at a future date. And if the market is pricing commodities higher than what we've seen in recent history, it could be due to some uncertainty. And so to the extent that those prices include such uncertainty, then it's included in our fuel cost plan.
Okay. And would your answer be the same with respect to LMPs?
Yeah, the gas futures drive our LMP regression. And so again, to the extent that those gas prices include some degree of uncertainty, then it would be reflected in our LMP pricing as well.
Okay. And how does the fuel cost plan account for any uncertainty, I suppose atypical uncertainty with respect to coal delivery constraints?
So right now, the company is currently doing rail nominations for coal deliveries, and the expectation is that the railroad will be able to deliver what we nominate. Therefore, we haven't factored in coal delivery constraints.
Okay, so is another way of understanding that saying you're not including, well, that's not probably to is coal conservation a factor in the fuel cost plan for this year, for the proposed fuel cost plan?
Coal conservation is not included in the 2023 fuel cost plan.
Okay, so I've been asking this question to the utilities I remember to ask, so I did put it on the list. So to what extent may the above listed uncertainties put at risk NSBW's ability to serve Wisconsin native system requirements in 2023?
The company does not see a risk with the ability to serve Wisconsin native system requirements.
Okay, thanks. So you did mention on page 6 of your direct, I think it's the first filing of that, or the actual direct, not the supplemental. And let me, oh, that's not what I want to do. I want to do that. Let's see this one. Okay. So you talk about page 6. Oh, no, actually, sorry. Yeah, page 6. Yeah. Okay, so you do mention it's a sentence starting in line 12 of page 6 about an impact on coal operations, potential impact on coal operations is the EPA proposed good neighbor rule. And I guess, I think another way of describing that, an acronym that we use, correct me if I'm wrong, it's CSAPR, CSAPR. Is that the same thing? Is that what you?
They're similar. So CSAPR is the cross-state air pollution rule, and that's already been enacted. And right now it has impacts on our Wisconsin fleet. The However, Minnesota is not currently covered by CSAPR. The proposed EPA's Good Neighbor rule will limit NOx for both Minnesota and Wisconsin plants.
Okay. So when you're speaking of the EPA proposal, are you talking about changes to add Minnesota and also changes to Wisconsin requirements?
Yes.
Okay. And so thanks for clarifying that. So so I guess the question is though, does the proposed fuel cost plan account for the changes that would be required if the proposal is, what do you call it, enacted?
Yeah, our modeling does account for it. It was based on the best written information we had from the EPA at the time the modeling was done. Yeah, we accounted for the NOx limitations on our Minnesota plants.
Okay. And do you know if the change, if you know if the inclusion of that change or additional information had a material effect on the average annual cost of fuel?
I don't have a number off the top of my head.
Okay. All right, I think that's all I had. So we can open up the for questioning for any based on this line of questioning, any follow-up from interveners and staff. Anything? No? All right, so any redirect?
No redirect, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, thanks very much. You're excused.
Thank you.
Judge, our next witness would be Ms. Julie McCray.
Okay. And there you are. So raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. Proceed.
Thank you. I'm just looking for her so I can see her when we're talking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Excuse me. Good afternoon, Ms. McCray. Could you spell your name for the record, please?
Sure. Julie McRae, Julie, McRae, MCREA.
And are you the same Julie McCray that filed direct and rebuttal testimony in this case?
Yes, I am.
And together with exhibits NSPW McCray 1 and exhibit NSPW McCray 2?
Yes.
Is all of the information contained in your direct and rebuttal testimony and those two exhibits I mentioned true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, with that affirmation, I would ask that Ms. McCray's documents be accepted into the record.
Okay, they are.
Now, Ms. McCray should be available for any questions you have, sir.
Okay. So just checking any cross now. No. All right. So I did have a few questions. So again, another set of questions I'm asking as we move along with these fuel cases. So please provide a working definition of the phrase extraordinary circumstances as it relates to mid-year rate adjustments under PSC 116.08.
Sure. The company's definition would be any circumstance that is outside the company's control that produces a material change. Some examples of that significant change could be a change in commodity prices driven by economic conditions, a weather-related event that significantly changes fuel cost, or a significant generation issue or outage outside the company's control.
Thanks. And describe the circumstances under which NSPW would apply for a mid-year rate adjustment, circumstances that may occur in 2023.
Sure. First off, I think one of those extraordinary circumstances would occur. Then additionally, it would need to be a material change that would happen soon enough in the year. I would say by the end of May or early June, that in order for the company to actually implement the mid-year rate adjustment during that year.
Okay. And in the course of considering whether to request a mid-year rate adjustment, would NSPW consider what it could project as far as the forecast for 2024, and how that may offset any discrepancies between 2023 actuals and the 2023 plan year?
Sure. Typically, we have not done that in the past. I don't think the company in the last decade has ever had to ask for a mid-year rate adjustment. So we've typically just filed our plan year for the next year in June of each year. If we saw, however, fuel costs were significantly changing between the 2 years, that would be obviously something we would take into account when making that determination.
All right, great, thanks. Okay, that's all I have. Any follow-up from interveners and staff? No, redirect?
I just want a clarification, which is, Ms. McRae, you provided the administrative law judge with some examples of what extraordinary circumstances could be. Are those all of the extraordinary circumstances there could be, or could there be others?
No, I mean, they wouldn't be limited to just those, but those are just some examples.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great, thanks. Okay, thanks very much. You're excused.
Thank you.
Your Honor, our next witness is Mr. Matt Moores.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay.
Mr. Moores, good afternoon. Could you spell your last name for the record, please?
Morse.
And did you prepare and file or cause to be prepared and filed a piece of direct written testimony denominated direct NSPW Morse?
I did.
Is the same true with exhibit NSPW Morse-1?
That is true as well.
And is all of the information contained in those two documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
It is.
Your Honor, with that affirmation, I'd ask that Mr. Moore's two documents be accepted into the record.
Yes, they are.
Okay, and he's available for any questions.
All right. Any cross? And I have no questions either. So thanks very much. You're excused.
Thank you.
Move ahead with staff witnesses.
Your
Your
Honor,
Honor, I can't see anybody other than me.
Can't see any. That's interesting. Let's go off the record. We already are. So possibly your view. There should be a selection on the top corner, right-hand corner of your screen. It's on my right-hand corner, but I don't know if it's the same for you. There's a view selection. If you click that, it gives you some options. So speaker is one and gallery is the other. Do you see?
There we go, gallery.
Okay, excellent. Wow.
Thank you.
It's a real shot in the dark. Okay, so if you could, do you have video available?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so we can't see you.
I'm sorry. Just a
Okay,
minute.
there we go. Perfect. Okay, so where are we now? I need to swear you in, right? Is that about right? Okay, so do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, great.
all right, Stephanie Bedford, Assistant General Counsel, appearing on behalf of the PSC. Would you please state and spell your last name for the record?
Michael A. Ritsema, and that's Ritsema.
And what is your position at the PSC?
I'm a public utility auditor principal.
Did you file or cause to be filed direct testimony in this docket?
Yes,
Did you also file or cause to be filed an exhibit marked Exhibit PSC Ritzema 1?
yes,
Are the statements and representations in the testimony and exhibits you filed in this case true and correct?
yes.
Do you have any additions or modifications to your testimony or exhibits at this time?
Just to note that I will be filing a delayed exhibit for the NYMEX adjustment, the NYMEX information just prior to the discussion of record. And I don't know if Judge Newmark wants to have an exhibit for the data request responses or not. He requested that in Power and Light.
I guess it's my turn to chime in then. I was curious in knowing if staff was proposing to file that and what the contents would be. So if you can enlighten us, Witness Ritzema.
Sure. What I would file is requests and responses other than what was in the initial data request, similar to what I proposed in the Power and Light hearing this morning.
Okay. All right, just so long as we know what to expect. And yeah, okay, so anything else?
We have no more questions. The witness is available for cross-examination.
All right. Any questions, cross questions for the witness?
From the applicant.
All right. So I had a few questions for you too, exactly. Questions for you, Witness Ritzema. So first one, provide a working definition of the phrase extraordinary circumstances as it relates to the mid-year rate adjustment.
I think that there's a continuum between unforeseen circumstances and unforeseeable circumstances, and there certainly would also be a materiality consideration, and that combined with the fact that a utility is only able to receive one mid-year adjustment increase in a field cost year, so they should keep that in mind when they make a request. So that would also go to materiality and what they think might otherwise be coming later.
Okay. And describe the circumstances in 2023 under which you would expect NSPW to apply for a mid-year rate adjustment.
Well, a couple examples would be commodity pricing, primarily natural gas, and also if there's any, it'd be either direction, and then for operations, generator operations, if there was a prolonged unplanned outage, that may be a possible scenario under which the utility may request a mid-year adjustment.
Okay. And I asked Witness McCray about the, well, I asked her opinion. I guess I'll ask you your opinion about making the call on a mid-year rate adjustment by weighing the under or over collection that's anticipated in the existing plan year, the current plan year, versus any forecasted results in the next plan year that may offset the discrepancies between actuals and forecasted costs in the current year.
I think, first of all, that's a decision that needs to be made by the utility, and I would hazard to guess, what the circumstances are that would cause me to think that it'd be appropriate to request a mid-year adjustment as opposed to just holding my fire and just waiting for the next year to come along.
Okay. Oh, yes. And so there's one other question. So I have to backtrack on my 2-question number there that I gave you before. But there was, I guess I wasn't aware before that in terms of the questions I asked witness Deleva regarding what we're calling the good neighbor rule implementation or enactment, and that there are costs in the plan that reflect the effect of what they know so far to be how that enactment may affect fuel costs in 2023. So were you aware that was the case?
I don't recall offhand whether they had dispatch adders for that sort of thing, or if they had pricing in for emissions, related to that. I do not recall specifics.
Okay. So let's see. I don't know how to raise this exactly, but I know. So we know that we have 5 fuel cost plan cases running simultaneously at this point. And the MG&E case, the hearing we had last week, the issue came up with what we were calling Casper, potential Casper costs. But because those were not known, what was the record? Has the record reflect that at this time?
I believe that since the impacts will not be known until sometime in early to mid 2023, it's really, we're not able to reliably estimate what the impacts might be.
And so were costs included in the proposed fuel cost plan for that?
Not for the ones that were being contemplated in witness Weinert's rebuttal testimony.
Okay, well, of course, these cases are different, but I don't know, as the commission reviews all of these cases, this issues I believe will most likely be the same. So I just wanted to make that clear for the record that there's an issue that cuts across these cases with that relates to this matter. So I don't know exactly what can be done about it at this point, but so we may just need to await commission direction on this and then see where we head from there. Okay, so that's all I have from you. Any follow-up from parties?
No follow-up from the applicant.
All right. Okay, and any redirect?
No redirect.
Okay. All right, well, thanks very much. You're excused.
Thank you.
And I believe
we have one more.
oh, that's great.
The
Oh,
commission
Almost got
calls,
away with it.
yeah, not so easy, Jason.
Not so easy.
The commission calls Jason Stevenson to the stand.
Okay.
Please state your name for the record.
Jason Stevenson.
He needs to be sworn in first.
Yes.
Here.
Thank you. So raise your right hand. And do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
Please state your name for the record.
Jason Stevenson.
What is your position at the Public Service Commission of Wisconsin?
I'm a public utility rate analyst.
Did you file or cause to be filed direct testimony in this docket?
Yes, I did.
Did you also file or cause to be filed an exhibit marked Exhibit PSC Stevenson 1R?
Yes, I did.
Are the statements and representations in the testimony and exhibits you filed in this case true and correct?
Yes, they are.
Do you have any additions or modifications to your testimony or exhibits at this time?
No, I do not.
Your Honor, the witness is available for cross.
Okay, I wanted to mention that there's an errata to that direct and looking. Okay, so just wanted to be clear. So the errata is really making a correction to your exhibit.
That is correct.
Okay, so only, okay, all right, so we can, okay, and then so, and that, okay, it's reflected in 1R. Okay, great, thanks. Okay, that's all I had. So any cross? No, okay. Well, that's all we have for you. So thanks very much. You're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Now I'm going to turn off the screen share. Okay, so anything else we need to discuss before we adjourn? No. All right. Well, thanks very much, everybody. Oh, wait, one more thing. Sorry. Any members of the public here that may want to make a comment? Now's the time to do it live. Looks like we lost Sue from our list, but don't forget there is an opportunity to file written comment up until Thursday, the 22nd. So that's all I have. Anything else? All right. Well, thanks very much, everybody. We're adjourned.
You.
Thank you.